Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Today we are talking about different types of healings with our friend Tracy Makarenko, who lives on beautiful Vancouver Island. That's on the west coast of Canada, along with her husband Mike, married for 32 years, and her two beautiful daughters and son-in-law live real close by in Vancouver. So we're excited to have you here today to talk more about your intuitive healings, a list of life coach sessions, and so much more. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we begin. And of course, we're going to have to talk about you being an author too. She's so modest, but you have to.
I feel like you've done it all now. I don't have anything to talk about. But
Really? As a
yeah,
mom,
no,
as a coach, as an author, you got this.
that's true. That's true. No, I've been doing this work for about 20 years and it's evolved over the years, definitely from a lot of different things. In the beginning, I was a breathwork practitioner. I just did reflexology and I was a Reiki master. And then I just started adding a lot of different modalities. Cranial sacral therapy, which is just my greatest passion, along with visceral manipulation. So it's all about compressing, decompressing the body on all levels, whether it's the organs or the tissue, even the bones. We can readjust bones that have been broken even in childhood, even if you're 60 years old. It's all living tissue. It all can be rearranged. So, it's about putting a person back into alignment from head to toe and just releasing all the damage that life throws at us along the way, and then the coaching sessions are a little bit different because it's more about trying to find balance in your whole life, not just necessarily your body. So that's a little bit different. And then the book, Moving from the Outside In, I talk about my healing journey. And I mean, we've been talking about this spiritual awakening for a few months now. And that's really what the book is all about, was my spiritual awakening. And we're going to talk today about the different type of healings that happen along that journey of the spiritual awakening. Last week, we did the dimensional doorway exercise. For anyone who didn't join us, go back and listen to that, because you really get a great sense about where you've been in life and where you want to go and where you are now. I don't know if you remember that exercise, Jill, but I always find it super profound. Doesn't matter how many times I do it.
How often are we supposed to do it every day? Tell me.
No, I mean, usually with my new moon circle, we do it once a year, just so people can grow in between
Oh,
that.
all right.
With a client, I might do it maybe once every, like a coaching client, because it is a coaching exercise. I'll do it maybe once every 8 months, or at the beginning of a 6 month, and then at the end of the 6 month, just so they can see. Um, Actually, I wouldn't even start it at the beginning. I probably
Mhm.
would just do it at the end so they'd get a sense of how far they've come since we'd been coaching. Um, but yeah, those doorways really help you feel um, viscerally where you're at.
Uh-huh.
Like you feel it
Like
in your
open.
body.
I was about to say it. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you had any. I know you felt the doorways last week, and
Open. And now it's like life just goes, it's crazy. I have two kids and it's like it's hard to find time to make for yourself, to really enjoy life, to really slow down, to really, and to me, it's like it's a difficult thing to even just breathe, to even just it just the day goes and goes and goes, and there's no sense of slowing down. And I sometimes feel so like dark, so tired. So, but this week I feel lighter. I feel more energized and I feel like I'm here. I'm getting there. My kids are 7 and 9. Wow, I can leave them home to run to the supermarket for a half hour. I have cameras and phone, but like things are getting better. And it's a spring, but I'm feeling kind of relaxed and it's better. I'm not as uptight. I don't think you tell me. You've been talking to me for a few weeks. Do I seem a little less relaxed after last week?
No, you're definitely bubblier, I
But you
think.
almost like, yeah,
Yeah.
I was like not a trance state, but I was in a sleepy state, which is a good thing. Feeling relaxed
Mm.
for all that time when you walked me through the whole process. And so thank you for that. I should have thanked you off the top, but I didn't.
No, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of time when you do a guided visualization and you only have half an hour. It's
But
pretty tight there to try and get any conversation in afterwards. So, and there is a time where people need to process what they've been through because it is a healing. Even if it's just a guided visualization, I'm still taking you on some type of journey.
yeah,
We do cutting cord exercises. We do um, soul retrieval exercises, and these are all kind of like higher end healing. So today, what I'd like to do is kind of give the listeners and you an idea of what things look at like at different levels. So we talked about doorway 5 being kind of the lowest level, the lowest energy. And I don't really see a lot of people that are in doorway number 5. And this lower level has nothing to do with how much money you have or how much money you don't have, what class you're in, what class you're not in. Like anybody can be depressed and miserable, and anyone can be happy and joyful. And that's just the truth. So whoever is in like doorway number 5 probably wouldn't find me because I wouldn't be on their radar. They might come across a book that maybe enlightens them or have a conversation with someone, or they
yeah.
might just have like a really heavy feeling that they need to change their life. And so I won't really see people in that doorway, but by doorway number 4, people have stumbled on me somewhere, whether it's a website or found maybe my book or whatever it has been. A friend has told them, you should go see Tracy. So I have a few examples, and they all start at the same place. They all start with someone coming to see me. They have a sore foot, and
Hmm.
so I have them on the massage table. I put my hand on their solar plexus. I connect in. I realize they're breathing rather shallow, that the diaphragm is a bit twisted. So I adjust the diaphragm and then I check in with their lungs just to see where they're at.
Hmm.
And so I work their lungs. I can go down deep into the body. I can adjust the lungs. Then I notice maybe the heart is a bit constricted. So I adjust the heart muscle so that it beats a little better and the blood flow moves a little better. The person on the table has, a big breath and is like, wow, I don't know the last time I really was able to breathe this deeply. This is
Hmm.
awesome. What about my foot? So, I mean, our lungs are all our organs are in our foot. If you've done any reflexology or Chinese medicine, we know that our foot contains everything. So when we have a sore foot, we need to actually look and see what part of the body that is. So the ball of the foot is typically the lung. So working the lungs, the human lungs, will help your foot feel better. And I'm guided to do the work. So this example just shows you that I am working on the body and not specifically the foot. So hopefully this is all making sense.
No,
Is
it
it making
does.
sense? Okay.
Interesting. It is. No, I get it. I get it. All right. So that's
Okay.
right. But then you have someone else come in. You could explain that situation
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So maybe someone's now in doorway number 3. Life is good, life is bad, but they have this sore foot. It's been bothering for them for a while. They've they know of me, maybe you've heard people talk about me, maybe read one of my articles. I'm in the back of their mind, but it's got to a point where they need to make an appointment. So they come in with their sore foot. Put my hands on their solar plex, I tap into the body. Yeah, the diaphragm's a bit twisted. I adjust the diaphragm. I check into their breathing, and it's a bit shallow. I'm just connecting with the lungs, and I feel like a lot of sadness. And so, I'll just mention to them, I feel this sadness, what's going on? And they're just like, well, I've been just feeling really overwhelmed. Or they'll say something like, I got bad news this morning. So they think what I feel is something that's happened today. And it's not what's happened today. When it gets to the point where I'm feeling this in the lungs, it's been going on for a long time.
Got it.
So, I just work on the lungs, I release the lungs, and they start crying. And they don't know why they're crying, but they're crying because I'm helping them release all these emotions that have been trapped in their lungs. I don't go on about anything else. We just sit here and hold space and let them cry. And afterwards they, oh my God, I can't believe I can breathe. They apologize for crying. I'm like, no, this is awesome. Trapped emotions have to come out of the body, and sometimes they come out through crying. So they feel great, they leave, they message me, they tell me, oh my God, I can't believe my foot actually feels better too. I don't know what you did. This is so weird. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's great. Love to hear that. We book another session. So then you move up, still maybe the third upper part of the third door, moving more into the second door, the dimensional doorway. And I have a client that comes in with a sore foot. And again, I put my hand on their solar plexus and adjust their diaphragm just to get things aligned energetically, because the upper chakras from the heart to the crown chakra, and then there's the heart to the base chakra. So the diaphragm, you want that adjusted so the energy can go from the base chakra up to the crown chakra. So I adjust that, and then notice their shallow breathing and a lot of emotions attached to the lungs. So I ask them just to connect to those emotions, like what are you feeling? And they tell me that the emotions they feel actually are more around fear. And sometimes our emotions, we gather them in just the one we know. We don't break emotions down. So in this case, instead of sadness, they're able to just drop a little deeper, and they realize it's actually more about fear and being scared. So as I'm working on them, we start chatting, and as the lungs start releasing, a memory comes into their mind. And they remember being 6 years old and being frightened. And if you've ever been frightened, Jill, what's the thing that happens?
Take a deep
Right?
breath in.
Yeah. And then we hold our breath because we're scared.
Eyes wide open. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, our body can get locked into these places when things happen to us. And it might not have been like a serious fright. It could have been something kind of minor to other people, but to the 6-year-old at that time who was scared of spiders and walks around the corner and there's a spider right there in their face, that might have been enough for them to leave this emotion stuck in their body. So I work with them, they release it, they release the story, and yeah, they feel like amazing. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing for me and for them. I get super excited. So before we go on, do you have any questions about those?
No, but that's awesome how people are coming in with all different things. And it's just all, like you mentioned, they're like all twisted up, and it's like different for everyone what it is. But you
Yeah,
can get a sense. I mean, let me ask you this.
yeah.
We forget someone even mentions they have a sore foot. Could you kind of like sit down and like know what's going on, like before they even say it? Does that happen a lot?
Well, once I put my hand on them, then I know. I try very much these days to not get in other people's space before I'm given permission. So I used to sit in the car when I started this and watch people going in and out of the grocery store, waiting for my husband or whatever. I'm not just like hanging out at the grocery store staring at people, but I could tell by the way they were walking or the way their head was hanging, or I could tap into their emotions. So I was playing with things back then, and then you learn you don't need to know what's going on other people's lives until they come and see you. So once that conversation's opened up, I can definitely get a sense. Some people more than others, they'll come in and they'll sit in my chair, and I'm like, okay, let's just get you on the table, because I can feel they're ready to burst. Like just being in my office, they're like, feel that safe bubble, and they're just ready to share immediately. So yeah, I mean, there's different levels. People on the lower levels, dimensional levels, they're going to be a little bit more withdrawn. They're not going to quite trust me yet. They're not trusting the world completely either. They're just not sure. They are starting to trust their intuition a little bit for sure. And that's kind of what's guiding them, to do a little bit of their work. I'm also would like you to know that that first person who came in for their foot and we just did a little few things, that could have been the same person all the way along. Because as they become more spiritually awoke, they get deeper and more connected to their bodies and their emotion. And that's the whole thing that I love to watch, is help people move from, where, well, no, I had a bad phone call this morning and that's why you probably feel some sadness, to this next section, which is super exciting, because this is when people really start leveling up. And this is the point where people are doing this healing for self-care. It's not, oh, I got this thing and it hurts and can you help me? It's like, okay, I got a chunk of something going on and I need your help. So, someone might come in, I have a sore foot, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm really having problems breathing. I know there's something here and I don't quite know what it is, but I know you can help me because you've helped me before, Tracy. Or somebody told me you did some really cool magical stuff. So I'm here because I know she had the most amazing, or he had the most amazing session with you. So that they come in. So I put my hands on their solar plexus. Yeah, their diaphragms, it needs a little adjusting, did that. And then I don't even sometimes have to put my hands on their lungs. I can still just be tapping into their breath. And the two of us will just stare at each other because all of a sudden we both feel the thing that I've tapped into. And so there's, this moment where we're like, okay, what is this? And that's when the magic starts happening. And that's when all my tools in the toolbox come out. And that's when, I know if I take a look through my mind's eye, I'll see, Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, and I'll see my client's spirit guides. I'll see all my spirit guides, and everyone's there just to, help this magic happens. So sometimes it's about an ancestral release. So there's some type of belief system that's happened, and we have to go back and we have to release it through all the different generations till we get to the person. So an example of a limited belief could be, I need to be really strong to get through this. And we try to connect to our power. And what the truth really is once you take away that limited belief that we have to connect and bring in all these tools to connect to our power, we find out we are the pillar of strength ourselves. Somewhere along the way, someone's just told us over and over again, if you want to get this done, you need to connect, you have to work harder, you have to do this, or you have to do that. But it's amazing when all of that just kind of melts away and you realize I don't have to connect to anything because I am my strength, and that could have happened 5 generations back. Somebody had to do something, and now every generation's been told the same story and it's moved forward. So that release could happen, and it's a beautiful release. It's almost like a waterfall of energy just coming off the body. And sometimes it might be like a past life issue. And what's funny about past lives is not everyone believes that they've happened. But I'll take that person back in time to whatever occurred in that lifetime, and then we can release the emotions that were trapped from that past life so they can move forward in this life. I will share one story with you though, because it's quite funny. So I visually can actually see what my client also visually sees. And
Wow.
she
Impressive.
was, she was Snow White.
Okay.
And I'm like, why are you Snow White? She's like, I don't know. And so it was like a cartoon, like Snow White, and the witch lady was there and she was giving her the apple, and my client took the apple and she took a bite out of the apple and knew she was going to die because she had to took the bite out of the apple. Now, in this case, it wasn't so much, it probably came from a past life for sure,
Oh my
but there's
gosh.
also this visualization that showed up to show her that she always does things to make other people happy, even when she knows they're a detriment to themselves,
Interesting.
right? So all sorts of things can show up in the body. And of course, you know, the lungs in that case, just for example, you know, it's like, okay, I don't want to make her feel bad, so I'm going to bite this apple. Well, you take a big breath in every time you go to do something for someone that you don't want to do,
And
and you lock stuff away in your lungs. I mean, we can do this in any of our organs, of course. I'm just using the lungs as an easy example today. So things like that can come up, which is pretty exciting. And
now,
then,
go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, just curious about how it relates with like reflexology, because you know my aunt used to do reflexology and work on people's feet, but there's a lot to what's in the foot, right? Because I know you also mentioned Chinese medicine, right? Because they say the
Yeah,
organs are in the feet.
yeah.
Huh? That's so cool.
But you know, the ball of the foot is the lungs. So, I mean, um, you can work people's feet, and I did that for years. And then I started working the actual physical lungs, and I get more enjoyment working the lungs because I'm very good at holding space for people to release emotions on a deep cellular
Hmm.
level, whether it's in this lifetime or a different lifetime, or this frequency or a different frequency. So that's my jam, right? So I love getting reflexology. I do have problems with my one foot. So I'm constantly kind of working on it.
Hmm.
Because we all have stuff we work on, like truth be told, we all have stuff we work on.
Yep.
So, you know, there's a lot of different places people come into their healing. I might see people and take them all the way through all those healings. I might see people that just come in and they're like, I know I need to be here. I know you can help me. I got a thing going on and let's just like go for it. Um, Sometimes I have rebirths and I don't even know how to explain this to you, but they will literally feel like they're being born, like vaginally born,
Wow.
and the lungs all of a sudden open up and it's like, hello, you're here. And that is like a major rebirth from one dimension or frequency up to the next one. Like that's like leveling up big time. It's like they've left all the old stuff behind and they're coming into this new place. And I've done a few dozen of those, and I mean, I cry like I'm I'm the doctor that I've helped this person come into this new space. So this work is just, it comes in so many different shapes and sizes, um, and the universe will only give you what you're ready for. I'm only going to help you
Always
at the
heard that.
level you
Yeah.
are at. I'm not going to, freak you out by saying something you're not ready for. Because intuitively, that's how I'm guided.
Yeah. All right.
I've not even said my
Interesting.
website or anything today, Jill. I just like jumped in and been having
Did we
fun.
not? Oh my goodness. Well, I said
I
your name.
know.
So Tracy, we could Google you, but we could just tell them the website as well. Oh my goodness. We got so
Yeah.
into this the feed and the energy and the healing. Okay. Tracy Makarenko, that's spelled Tracy with no E, TracyMakarenko. And that's the website, tracymakarenko.com, right?
Yeah, .com or social media, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, email me. You can go to my website and email me there if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today or any of the other podcasts where we've talked about different things. I have a monthly new moon meeting where I do the guided visualizations from my coaching, and it's really great because it's women getting together and we get to talk about some of these things, things about what's going on in our life and bits and pieces like that. I take them through a guided visualization, and then we set an intention for the new moon cycle. So a lot of different things to come in wherever you're at
All right.
to
Well,
get some healing.
thank you for this healing session as always. Also, your books, tell us the titles of the books and where we can find them, please.
Yeah, so Moving from the Outside In by Tracy Makarenko, it's on Amazon. And then the book I co-authored, which became Amazon bestseller, is called I'm a Brilliant Woman. And the lady, you'll find her name on there, Karen Clanson, is the one who put us all together to make this inspirational book to help women, mostly in shelters. So just to be inspired that life gets better. Doesn't matter what doorway you're in, life can always get better.
Such a true thing. It really can. And you making things happen and changing people's lives. And what do you have plans for the weekend? Something we never talk about. What do you do on the weekends?
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, so my husband actually has been in Botswana the last 10 days working. So he just got home late last
Wow.
night. So we have kind of a quiet weekend, but I give back to my community through Rotary. So I'm part of our Rotary community. We raise like $250,000 a year to give to community and international projects. And tonight we actually are having our social event. So I'm part of the social committee, which is, fun. And we're
Nice.
having a wine and tapa tasting tonight. So there's about 35 of us getting together
Awesome.
to do some of that. And then the rest of the weekend is mostly just hiking. It's so nice out right now. So just getting into the forest and grounding, and probably pop in and visit my dad. And
Thank
yeah,
you. All right. Well,
things
thank you
like
for
that.
sharing, Tracy. You have a
Yeah,
fantastic day. Thanks
yeah,
again,
you
Miss Tracy
too.
Makarenko. We are excited to have you. Enjoy your weekend and welcome home to your hubby. Aw.
You too, Jill. Have a great weekend.
Thanks so much. You too. And to everyone, stay tuned. We will be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.